Hey, subscribers and YouTubers, what in the world is Flathead Terry working on today? Well, I got the 37 Coupe up in the air, and why? Well, first of all, I got some new rubber, getting rid of these old, what are those things? Those are some Goodyears, Firestones. They are very, very checked. You can see there's a lot of cracks in them, as I showed in episode 1. So I got some new rubber to put on, so I got those off. Number 2, I also want to start working on some of the suspension, and you'll notice the original over here. There it is, the original shock absorber. Hey, this is the 1937 aircraft shock absorbers. They were new in 37 in Plymouth, so I have a new set over here that I'm going to put in. Got those in here. You can barely see them, but they're in there. Replace those. So my whole intention here is to improve the ride safely, be able to drive it, and make sure I have a nice safe suspension, that sort of thing, and start replacing some of the worn out parts. So one of them is getting that shock off of there, so I'm going to do that right now. Well, I'm going to start by removing this nut on the top here. Of course, this is original, so it looks like it's been on there since the beginning of time. So this might be a challenge. It might come off difficult, or it might come off easy. I don't know. Let's see. Well, it comes off relatively easy. I'm kind of surprised. There we go. Boy, if you look at it, it looks like this thing is never going to come off. Well, it did. Now, let's take a look down here. Let's spin things a little bit where I can get some access to it. Let's see, down here. See if I can get a better angle on it. There we are. Well, there it is down here. There's the other bottom nut holding it on. Of course, there's decades of grease and oil on there. Let's see if I can even get a wrench on it or a socket. Well, that's going to need some attention. Let me see if I can get a screwdriver on there or a chisel to get that gum off of there. Okay, I got most of the ancient grease off of there. And now let's see if we can get it off. Oh yeah, that's been on there a while. All right, there we go. Now, let's see if we can get that off. With a little persuasion. Oh, here you can't see. Let me move this camera up here. You can see what I'm doing. There we go. All right, there we go. I was just over here prying this off. No problem there. Now, oop, sorry, bumped the camera. Let's get down here. See if I can get that off of there. There we go. Now let's take a look at this thing here. Yeah, boy. There it is. Years and years of grease on there. It's just kind of melted on there. Of course, there's just nothing in here. There's a little bit of friction in there. Not much though. There is a rebuild kit in the service manual. Of course, I don't know if they're even available. Yeah, there's virtually no friction here at all. A little bit. But there you go. We'll replace them with fresh ones. We'll keep these around. Of course, the originals most likely, and good to have on hand. So now 3 more to go. Okay, I've removed the mounting nut up here, and I was able to loosen up the shock. Kind of pull this right off. There we go. The bottom I already pre-loosened already, and then this little rubber grommet comes off, I'm sure of that. There we go. Here's an original shock. Look at all of that built up grease over the years. That's just decades worth of all kinds of grease and lubricants over the years. That's just unbelievable. Well, same thing here. This thing really doesn't have any kind of friction to it at all. No surprise there. So I will install the new ones. Okay, I've installed the new shock. Pretty straightforward. I was able to put it right back on the same brackets. I reinstalled the original hardware. So now I just have to tighten it up, and that'll be it. Oop, I'll have to get an extension for that one. Nice long extension. There we go, nice and snug. Now we'll go over to the other side. Okay, I'm on the driver's side now and was able to install the shock. Now I just have to place the original hardware back in, which are these two washers, and put the two nuts back on and tighten them up. There we go. Now the front is done. Probably one of the easiest jobs I've had to do on a car in recent memory. Just changing out the front shocks. Now on to the back. Okay, here's the driver's side rear shock. As you can see, I already got my breaker bar up there, and that is tied to this bolt here on the outside, which I've already started to loosen up. So of course the nut inside there is frozen to the stud, but I was able to get this loosened up. So we'll just take the whole darn shooting match out. So I'll loosen that one up, but then also the other bottom nut is way over here. And we climb down over here and show you. There it is down here, right in here. And of course, my jack stand is in the way of my ratchet, so I will have to do it manually with a box end wrench. So let's wrench on that for a while and get that baby out of there. Okay, now the wrestling match begins. We're trying to get this shock off, the 83-year-old shock. I've already got my BFS. You know what that is. And now we're going to try to loosen it up here. I got it off the lower mount. Now to try to get it off over here, I put the nut on here to protect the threads. So I'm going to have to reuse that stud. It's coming out slowly but surely here. There we go, success. Alright, there it is. Oh, there you go, now you can see it. Nope, there we go. Yeah, again, yeah, no shock there at all. Alright, so now my challenge is to get this stud off of here. So this is going to take a little bit of work, and then reinstall it and get the new shock on. Okay, was able to install the new shock. Not so bad. I was able to put it all down here. There we go. Using original hardware. This side wasn't that bad to remove, but now we go over to the other side, the right rear. There's always a bad guy, always somebody fighting back. Well, if we take a look here, I tried to loosen up that nut already, no dice, and of course way up above, that nut on top is fighting as well. So I have a solution though. It's my little friend over here. This guy has been really good to me. I gotta knock some of the dust off. It's been sitting a while, but Mr. Heat will make sure it comes off. So let's heat it up, heat up those nuts, and take them off carefully. Okay, with some help from my little friend over here, Mr. Flame was able to heat up this bolt here, or this nut actually, and get it off. On the other side is a bracket for the muffler or the tailpipe over here. So I didn't want to interfere with that. So my goal is to take the bottom off first, which I've taken off, the nut, and then kind of slide this out. Hopefully I can get it around the bracket that's behind here. So let's begin our wrestling match. Okay, with only a minimal amount of swearing, I was able to loosen up the bottom one here. That took some effort. Now let's see if I can pull it around the other side here. See if my theory works. See if I can get it over here and you can see a little bit better. There we are. Okay, now let me grab my hammer. Take an alternative approach to get that off of there. So let me climb underneath and inspect and deal with what I have in the way there. Okay, was able to use Mr. Torch again to get that inside nut off. Now I've reattached this nut here and tightened down that shaft that holds it on. Let's see if I can get it out of there. Here's the next question. Success. There we go. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, not much in here. These old shocks are actually hydraulic. There's a little drain plug down here, which I thought was interesting. So these ran off of hydraulics of some sort, and anyway, that's where they are. Of course, nowadays everything is off of a gas of some sort. So on to installation. Okay, success of the last of the shock absorbers. Let me climb under and show you. Here we go. And we go way up over here and we slide around the leaf spring, and there we go. All mounted back. We're good to go. Now to put the tires back on.